safety in school, but safety in the people I used to know, but 100% leaving that environment was what catalysted a massive change for me. Because you're
Welcome back to another episode of the Truth Talk podcast. My name's Alex Zach, and today I'm here with
Tim Yoon.
So for y'all that don't know Timothy, he was able to grow his YouTube channel to over 2,000 subs, doing various different types of content, right? I mean, you kind of want to introduce yourself and just give a little bit of your backstory for the viewers that don't know you.
Yeah, so I started YouTube back in, I would say like it's been 7 years, and like overall like video editing and YouTube and video creation grind. But I would say with this channel, it's been since 2023, where essentially I think the mission for when I was beginning was like, shit, man, 2023 is the year where you turn on your college apps and you have like your Asian pressure going on, like, yo, we gotta go to college. So I turn all my college apps in, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now I'm like, damn, I gotta actually do some shit. So I started the channel as one side hustle number one. Then the mission of the channel was like, I'm gonna try as many different side hustles as possible until I can essentially find the one that works for me. So I tried like drop shipping on it, sales jobs. I tried getting what else did I try? I tried like AI side hustle or something. That was mostly like a clout grab for like the AI, thing.
Yeah.
And then SMMA, where that blew up, right? SMMA blew up. Not only did the video blow up, but the agency itself actually made money, right? It was the first time I made something tangible. I was like script writing and whatnot. And yeah, so when that happened, I would say script writing. Yeah, so I would say that was like kind of a split of a path. There was a fork in the road where I was like, okay, I either do SMA or YouTube. And I kind of went with the YouTube route for like the next few videos, and they all fucking flopped until until I was like, shit, man. So September was when I have to land in college. I have to go into college, right? So then I was like, all right, I'm in college. Like, what do? I have to do something. I have to make money. Like, I'm not gonna be brokey NPC, like no rat race type of bullshit. I'm not staying in the matrix, bro. So I essentially was like, okay, YouTube's not working. What's gonna be like the quick money play that I can make money to escape,
Yeah.
And I shot back to SMA, like it worked before. Why wouldn't it work now? So I kept at it. I sent like a bunch of outreaches and then calls and whatnot. And then I was able to get, make money. And then finally now where I was able to, drop out of college. I would say not drop out, but yeah, I guess technically you could put, I was able to drop out of college. And then I was able to, I make now like 11K per month, which is not bad, chilling in Thailand. And then now I'm essentially like switching over to a scripting plus like partnering with a growth partner. And where I kind of now I'm taking like two sort of agencies and then scaling it, to the moon. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully the goal is, I think, around 50 to 100K by the end of this year. I think I could at least reach 30K in the next 2 months. But
30K
yeah,
a
I have
month.
a good model. Yeah, I have a good model in mind that is
So
like
I mean,
sound.
So I have a question for you, right? How did you get into YouTube script writing, right? Because like if you like go on YouTube, you look at like your average agency, right? You see all these people running Facebook ads, you see all these people doing like the short form content, whatever it is, right? Like how did like YouTube script writing, like how did that come about?
Yeah, of course. So I would say it's not a script writing agency anymore, but I would say that's one of our greatest strengths in our agency, And so with script writing, there is a difficulty to it. It takes a lot of like mental brain power, rather than just like a classic execution of just outsourcing your work. And so for me, I would say my background is in editing. Since 12, I was editing. I was like doing Instagram. I made like, I don't know if you saw it in my drop shipping video, but I made like stupid little like Natalie and Christina type of Instagram videos that I was like sounding so gay as shit, man. But it was like me just like making videos with my brothers for my friends, just in school. And that really built my video editing skills. And then from there, essentially, now the philosophy with video editing is that, okay, it's you taking these clips and readjusting them for attention, seeing how the story's working. Right. And so in storytelling, in scripting, that's essentially what you're doing as well. You're just taking, instead of clips, you're taking words and readjusting them in the proper order in order for the story and retention and the value that you're providing to Flow, you know.
Yeah.
And so that editing background, I would say most definitely helped me a ton, a ton, a ton. And also during that like editing story of me going from like 12, I would say all the way up to 17, right? Just messing around with editing in tons of different mediums. Like for instance, I was editing with like I tried drop shipping before, right? And I would edit the Shopify, the product advertisements, you know.
The
And then I was
TikTok.
like, right, like the TikToks, you know. And then even before that, I did like Facebook ads, like editing those. And then I messed around with NFTs where I made
Same.
like YouTube videos. You're right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
made like YouTube videos. Like fan video edits trying to get whitelists, you know. And if you guys don't know what whitelists are, they're like how you get NFT. It's essentially like a guarantee NFT mint, so that once you could buy the NFT, then you buy the NFT, and then boom, you take off to essentially be able to buy the NFT at a lower price, so you can resell it at a higher price. You know, and
Yeah,
so
I
like
mean that's like with the mints, right? You would buy like almost like a pre-order, right?
Right. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So me being able to learn editing through all these skills, that also during that entire era of editing, I watched a lot of YouTube videos of like how to story tell, how to like how this movie works with this character, and like I guess the character being able to change into something, and like what are the storytelling tactics that they use. And so bringing all those skills of like editing, of like watching these YouTube videos, then allowed me to script write and then like have like a brain behind writing, because you know, writing, you need a lot of brains.
Yeah,
So
and no,
yeah.
it's cool that your story is like kind of similar to mine. Like I've tried e-commerce, I've done NFTs, I've done like all these different business models, and I'm sure it's like the same for so many people. I know so many people who like you go down YouTube, like you see like the Humza video, the Andrew Tate video, like saying, oh, you got to try this, like copywriting, whatever it is, right?
But
And like you just like bounce around from all these things. It's like I wish I would have just like focused in on like one thing, right?
mm,
Yeah, but I mean, I guess my next question for you, kind of going back to when you were talking about like you were in college, right? You wanted to do something, right? How did like the college, how was the college experience, sorry. And like how was like taking a gap year or like dropout, whatever you want to call it? Like how has that experience been?
yeah, so I went into college September-ish, right? So when I went in, I didn't expect to. I went in thinking like, all right, I'm gonna do like a year. I'm gonna do like 2 years. You know, it's gonna take a while to make money, but I'm gonna make it on YouTube. You know, I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
And so I went in, and there's like this first 1 week period before school actually starts. You know, and for that 1 week period, I was like just kind of grinding, like doing nothing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay focused. Um, I'm not going to go party and shit like that. But I sit there and I'm working, and there's like barely fucking any places to work with like a good, nice chair, you know, number one. Or two, I'm working and constantly everyone's like going in and out of the dorm, you know, and they're like, yo, let's fucking get it, bro. Let's go party. And yeah, so that's 1 week going in there. And you can't focus. You can't really focus, you know, in that sort of environment. And then so school then starts after that 1 week. And I go to class for the first time ever. I went to one class. This is the only class I went to. And when I go in, there's like a sea of like 50 kids, all in like a massive auditorium. And there's like one old ass dude. And I walk in a little late, you know, and he's like teaching about some Saturn or some shit. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, there's this like planet, you know, some Mr. Beast thumbnail. And it's like, I'm trying to make money. I can't learn a single ounce, a single droplet of knowledge here that's going to
What,
make me
what
become
were
what I want.
what were you studying in college?
So my major was economics, you know, which is quite relative to business. And so I thought that would help. But in order to learn economics, you have to learn all these other bullshit classes that are just useless, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I went through that class, and then I leave, and then I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna do this, dude. Oh, a year, 2 years, like no. And so for I would say I think it was another 2 weeks. I didn't go to a single class for 2 weeks. I did not go at all. And I just sat down and I just fucking outreached daily. I like hopped on the sales calls, and you guys saw it in my video, the I tried estimating for 100 days, and just constantly pumping it out like that until I get like the Boyan close, and then from there, that was when I was able to be like, okay, I now have the confidence to leave because I can make 1.5K consistently, and then I leave, and then I come here into Chiang Mai, or no, I went to Vietnam, Da Nang, and then Bali, and then now here in Chiang Mai.
And in your video, you were in Japan, right?
Yes, in Japan for 6 days. That was an overlay. It's just like a quick side story. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would say leaving the college was like the single thing that 100% expedited my business to no regard. I would say that if you guys are even like thinking about it, or if you guys are like looking at your situation, you're like, I could stay, I can imagine. I have like so many agency friends that do that, and all of them like consistently tell me like, I just want to leave, but I don't feel like I can. And it's like, that's just the fucking mindset, dude. Just leave. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it's hard. It's hard coming here solo and like living alone, and you know trying to find friends and shit, which it's not too hard for me, but I would say like for you guys, if you can't talk to people, then it might be a little tough. But yeah, I would say yeah, but there's still that aspect. There's that safety in school, but safety in the people I used to know, but 100% leaving that environment was what catalysted a massive change for me, because you're in a different environment now, and that changes the way you think about everything. And when you start thinking about everything 100% differently, you're able to yeah, essentially do what is required instead of doing what taking the actions that are, I guess, also taking into account the mindset that you have when you're at school. So for instance, like you're at school, you want to stay grinding for another 3 hours, but then your friends are like, let's go fucking party. And you're like, all right, you know what? Like they're here, my boys. You validate it by being like, I've known them since I was a kid. And then you go and party, and
Yeah, I mean, and do you think
that
the
works.
environment is the one thing that like held you back, or was it like more just like the time that you spent at school? Like, do you think you could manage doing both of them even though like the environment was like, I mean, I guess like what's your take on that?
Yeah, good question. So for me, I'm a pretty hyper extreme person. So if I want to kill somebody, I'm gonna go kill somebody. Fuck.
What?
If I,
Bro, you're on a podcast.
if I just want to chill and be a nice, if I just want to lay in bed all day, I'll do that. Although I've never done that. But yeah, so living in these hyper extremes, I love to go around and yeah, I would say I want to commit to one thing. And so if I'm at school, I have to do school and I have to do this, and I'm just like distracted and your mind is diffracted, I call it like mind refraction. But when I'm at one place, I'm able to hyper focus on it. So I feel like for some people, you could kind of do both. Your brain is like this, but for me, I have to be like this, just like focus
Yeah.
on one, like swimming in real life. I'm like, I have to focus on one thing,
No,
and
I feel the same way, especially because
yeah,
like when I do so many things, it's like I feel so spread out, and it's like I don't feel like I'm making any progress individually with these things, right?
right,
Like I've tried like like all these, as I said, like I tried these different business models. Like I've tried like
right,
YouTube like repurposing, right? Like even like crazy stuff like that, where you like Musa and all the people that blew up on TikTok doing that sort of thing, right? Like I've tried that
yeah,
before, and it's like I can't I feel like I'm not making any progress if I'm not consistent with it, right? And like with this
absolutely.
agency, like I was able to find like some consistency, find some like, and sort of my brand too, like able to find like somewhere I could just work, and like build towards
Yeah,
an end objective, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and okay, going back to like you moving and everything, do you feel like the environment like where you are now is better than like maybe not the college environment, but like the environments that you've been in before, Because you said you
Mm,
know.
I see. Another good question. So I think traveling around for the past 3 months brought me to like a more deeper philosophical conclusion where I would say I put up a story recently and I was like, I saw this quote on YouTube and it said, and in the story, I put up the quote saying, it said, stop traveling, lock yourself in a hole and work. And I was like, facts. Because I was like traveling around 1 month in each country. And I thought it was fine until you realize that when you stay in one place, there is a level of like hyper optimization that you could do, like you could predict. So for me, for instance, my daily workflow is like I wake up, I shower and, do whatever my morning routine is. I go to the co-working space and then I work, right? And there is this time in Bali where like in Bali, I lived right next to the co-working space. So I could walk there. So that's 5 minutes time predicted, right? But here it's like I wake up, then I have to do like a 15-minute motorcycle drive to the co-working space. That's 15 minutes, So even hyper optimization of like 15 minutes versus 5 minutes, that affects how my schedule is going to, continue for the rest of the day. Right. So being in different locations like that, it's made me realize that ultimately I need to stay in one place. And I keep thinking about it. And I'm like, here, I don't think I'm going to stay here for the entirety of my life. I still see myself going back to California and living with my family in Orange County, dox myself. But yeah, like Orange County. Yeah, there's like my family, there's my cousins, there's my church, everything like that. And so yeah, I keep thinking back to it. So good question. The question of like, is this environment the one that I want to stay in? Is this the one that I want to commit to? Ultimately, I don't know. I don't know if this is the one right now for me. But I would say Chiang Mai for now. In this season of my life, I would say it is the place because it's like perfectly quiet and like a good balance of like the California vibe while being not as crazy as Bali. I don't know if you guys been to Bali, but the roads are like it's like a little noodle, it's like a noodle. Like in America, I don't know if you can relate to this, but for the non-American viewers, but in America, there's like roads that when you're going up a mountain, it's like really thin, In Bali, take like that thin road and then put like all of LA traffic in it. It's brutal. It's crazy.
It's bad.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I mean, most of the time, like I have like family in Europe and I'm from Europe. Like the nobody uses cars. You know what I mean? Like we walk everywhere. That's not something that, you do if like, I don't know how spread out it is in like Bali or like Southeast Asia as a whole, right? But is that like how it is? Like, is it like you have to use the car
No,
to get
that's what I was
around?
thinking. Like Chiang Mai, it's chill, but in Bali, it's like that road. You know what I'm saying? So like, bro, straight up, like people are going. There's like you can kind of fit like two motorcycles on this like main road, right? So and there's like two slivers of like sidewalks on the side, right? So people straight up like when it gets too fat, then like the motorcycles here, they just go on the sidewalk and they just drive over the people. You know what I'm saying? It's like borderline that crazy, bro. They just start going on the sidewalk. I'm like, damn. Yeah. So it's like. Yeah, it's like that crazy. And so that's why I'm saying like Chiang Mai is that good balance for me, where it's like I don't have that crazy shit going on daily in Bali. So that's why I think I'm a commit to here at least 2 months so far. Then again, I speak like this, but in like 1 month, they're gonna do burning season here, where it's just gonna be like super smoky and whatnot. So they just like burn the crops and everything, and then they get smoky. So I actually might need to go back to Bali during that time. But
well, I mean, how are you staying at these places? Like, is it like an Airbnb or like you're like
yeah, there's an Airbnb.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. Dude, I've always wanted to live like that sort of travel lifestyle where like you're going from place to place, but I don't think I could do like moving every month. Like I would have to stay at a place for like 3 or 4 months. Like I can't do it. Like I feel like I just can't lock in. I'm always like on the move and stuff. But like, do you recommend like Southeast Asia, like just apart from like the traffic issues and everything, like sort of like the lifestyle? Like I know it's really different than in the US, right?
Not really. I mean,
It
people are
isn't?
nice. Yeah, I would say people are nice. That's the main benefit.
Compared to the
I mean,
US?
people are nice too, but they're like a little crazier, Whereas like here, they're like chilled out. So and it's like cheap.
Interesting. Yeah, no, because like when you compare the US to Europe, like it's a completely different lifestyle. Like there's no
Right.
cars.
I mean,
Like
I've
you're
never been
all
to
living.
Europe, so I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I want
like
to
I
go.
imagine that Southeast Asia was different than the US, but if you're saying that it's not, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I guess we'll like go back to talking about like the SMMA and like how it's grown. Like, can you like give a little bit of a breakdown? I don't want to give too much away because I don't know what you're gonna post. But
I
like
don't care. I don't
where's
care.
it gone from like where it was in the video?
Yeah, so in the video it ended off um
It ended off you were in Japan and then you told us about some other clients that you got.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
like yeah.
So I got no saying. You gotta bleep that out.
Okay.
We'll just call her Ella because that's what I call her in the new video. But yeah, I would say so. I did for her. I do like scripting for 1K. And now I'm starting to outsource everything, but 1K plus 250 bucks for per thumbnail. And then I got another client. His name, bro. This guy's crazy, bro. This guy's crazy. Another client. He makes 56 million a year.
56 million
56 million a year,
on
bro.
what?
So bro, crazy business model, crazy business model. So basically, this guy, so these days you see like Eddie Cumberbatch, right? He has a growth partner situation where you go to influencers with tons of attention, then you go and build the back of the funnel for them. So back of the funnel in the sense of like, all right, let me build a landing page, let me build a offer, and let me build a course at the bottom, right? Great business model, works awesome. I have a friend doing that, making so much. But the other end of the spectrum is getting attention initially. Right.
Yeah.
So for instance, on YouTube, you have to go and get this clout on Instagram, whatever, posting reels and whatnot. And getting that attention initially is also part of the game. Right. And so this we'll call him, I think we'll call him instead of his name. Yeah, I called him Lewis in this in the recent video, right? Lewis. And so this Lewis guy, 35, okay, used to run an agency before, now runs this model only for 4 years, okay, only for 4 years. I think with the agency, I was doing like 2 mil a year, and this took him from 2 mil to 56 million a year, okay? He merges both of the business models together. So he goes to influencers and goes to biz op influencers. So biz op influencers are like Amazon FBA coaches, dropshipping coaches, SMMA coaches, right? Goes to these people and says, all right, listen, bro, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the amount of attention you have right now, and I'm going to blow you up even more with number one, getting attention for them through Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Google ads, and also helping you out with some sort of, I would say not conversion, but I would say the content itself as well, right? Then he also goes and says, listen, I'm also going to build you a course, a bottom of the funnel and everything like that. And we're business partnering, and I'm taking 50% of your company and you take the other 50%, right? And so he does everything else other than like being the influencer itself, right? And bro,
he must have like a bunch of people.
Yeah, he has 8 partners on this right now. He's done 8 total. I think right now, currently, he has like 4 to 5. And each of those companies, it's like one is at 20 mil, another one is at it's crazy shit, bro. It's crazy shit. One, I think, like, bro, he takes these from like 0 to like 500K in like a few days, or sorry, in like a few months, you know, because that's the power of knowing ads, you know, and it's the power of understanding the bottom of the funnel. And once he's able to do this, like, so this is kind of the model that I'm taking now, where like, essentially that's Lewis's model, and then end clip there, you know, but for me, I would say I'm now taking this model where right now I am running. I'm good at content. That's my skills. That's like right now I'm doing scripting, but like everything else of the production process, title, thumbnail, scripting, editing, I know how to do. I don't know how to do the bottom part of the funnel, right? Where you take this growth partner model and
like the VSL or whatever it is.
Courses, right, exactly. You understand courses, you understand offers, you understand building a sick landing page, a VSL, you know. And so my plan right now, I have a friend who's really good at this. Went from 0 to 22K in 4 months, you know, crazy fast with this growth partner model. And he's really, really good at it. And so my plan now is essentially to take my agency and the clients that I have now and also, you know, new clients that I'm plugging and playing with another outreach agency that I'm using. And I'm taking this guy's agency and being like, bro, every single time I get like a new client, let's partner it up. And let me do their top of the funnel. You do their bottom of the funnel. And there's a lot of nuances that goes into this. But like essentially like, you know, having, you know, fucking our agencies together so that eventually once we merge these together, like I guarantee attention. He guarantees conversions. If we are able to do both and execute on both, that's guaranteed results for our clients. That's guaranteed money for us. And that's since we're on a growth partner model, like we're taking a percentage of their company, it's a win-win situation, you know?
Yeah.
And so that is the model that I'm moving forward with that I've been really, really excited for like the past few, I would say weeks or months, but yeah. And we're now moving towards the action of that. We have a new client that we're bringing on for that soon.
So do you know, what is it? The media scaling, I think they're called media scaling, like the Logan, I forgot the guy's last name. He does like Iman Gadzhi stuff and like Brandon Carter and all them. Like that sounds like kind of similar. Like they do like the top of the funnel and they'll like build out like 5,000 shorts every month for these people and like guarantee them like 150 million views. Like, do you know who I'm talking about or no? Like
I have no
the
clue, but it sounds interesting.
Okay. No, yeah, no, because like you're saying like people that are doing the guy's doing 56 million. Like the first thing I thought of was that guy, and I don't know if there was a connection or not, but apparently not. So I mean, with this business model, right? You're doing like sort of the thumbnails and like the content side of it, right? And do you
Yeah.
like outsource all of that, or how are you like doing
Yeah,
it?
good question. So, um, I used to work in the business. I was a little pussy, I had terrible mindsets, but Layla Hormozi, go watch Layla Hormozi, guys. Alex is good. Layla's honestly sometimes even better
Yeah.
because she's really good at teaching how to manage people, how to run a team, and things like that. And so I had a lot of shit mindsets before, about believing that like if I do it, I'm the best. I have
Oh,
to be the one
yeah.
to edit everything. I have to be the one to do tell stuff and scripting, like what everything. It's like no, you are significantly worse than everyone else. Like, believe that, know that. And I've realized that because I see the talent in the world now. And Layla Hormozi teaches a lot of ways to essentially building a funnel to hire, right? And through that, I've been able to interview a lot of talent. And there are so many people way better than me, way better. And I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
I did not know this, especially if they stay in their field of genius. The zone of genius is what I call it. And realizing that now, knowing that I am worse than other people and believing it, really believe it. And sometimes I even gaslight myself to be like, they're better than me. Then from there, what I've been able to do is now only work on the business and really keep my mind to like today, what is going to allow me to work on the business. And so
Mhm.
editing, scripting, titles, thumbnails, doing all of that yourself, that is not you anymore. You have to be the person to hire all these people out. And so for me now, script writers, I would say talent easy done. Thumbnails, a lot of talent on Twitter. Guys, go find it. Literally just look up YouTube thumbnail designer on Twitter. Super easy to find. Editors, even easier on Twitter.
Yeah.
I would say the hardest part right now, I would say it's not that hard. I just haven't looked that hard yet. It's creative director. So creative director's role is to pump out tons of titles, do like outlier research on YouTube, do just like overall competitor research and like what videos are going to
Yeah.
pop off, what idea is going to do well, and even like ideating themselves. That also
Like
takes a lot of
finding the gap in like content and stuff, like finding out like
yes,
what's yeah. Mm.
right. So
Yeah.
like that's a role that actually requires brain, and currently I'm looking for that position. So apply if you want, but yeah, that's like how many roles is that? Creative director, script writer, thumbnail
Thumbnail.
editor, and I would say obviously a VA, an HR VA to hire all these people out. And then I would say another part of the team would be, I would say, yeah, an operator to manage all these people. Then you could leave your business and you could do fuck off. And so,
Mhm.
so I guess the point is currently I'm doing some of the work. But I have a script writer that I'm training up right now. I have an editor that I'm training up right now. I have thumbnails editors I'm training up right now. And I'm looking for the creative directors to train up as well. And mostly the work on me right now is hiring these people. And I would say also managing them. And I would say overall like taking on calls
Yeah.
in order to like new inputs and shove new stuff in my brain that I could squeeze out back into my people. That's the move right now.
So how are you like getting new clients for this? Is it like what is the outreach that you're doing? Um,
Yeah. So my new philosophy is now, how much can I get away with? How much can I get away with not doing? So a lot of noob like agency owners, they just like outreach and outreach and outreach, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it myself. But for me, that's retarded. So I guess you're not supposed to say that these days, huh? So I did that. I learned how to outreach and whatnot. But the move is actually in removing yourself. And so the fastest way to do that is actually just hiring an agency to do that for you. And that ultimately comes down to outsourcing to a good agency. Because when you're hiring, the two things you have to look for are culture set and skill set fit. And so if these two, and there's tons of nuances under this, watch Layla Hormozi and she'll teach you all of that. But so basically, my new philosophy has been like, how much can I get away with? How much can I get away with not doing? And that comes down to working on the business, not in the business, right? So if I'm going to work not in the business. Working in the business is the total opposite of this, right? It's just a spectrum, you know? So working in the business is like, all right, I'm gonna do outreach all day. I'm gonna send 150 DMs and I'm gonna personalize all of them, you know, and I'm gonna cold call every single day. And then I'm gonna get clients like this, right?
Mhm.
It's respectable. You learn a lot from this and you become you can build a good system out of this. Oh, Apple approves. And then there's the other side of the spectrum, right? There's the other side of the spectrum where you question, and this is the new philosophy that I've taken. It's how can I get away with as much as possible? How can I not do anything? And the fastest way to get to this other side is like, yo, listen, instead of just building, because ultimately this, right, when you're outreaching every single day, this is to learn, then to build a system, then to automate it, right? These are the 3 steps that go into it. When in reality, you could just skip all these steps and get to automation number 3 right away. And how you do that is through just hire an agency that already has these systems to do it for you. So then you jump right to automation, right? Then you learn these other 3 things. So this is like 2K a month. You know, if you have revenue coming in, and I do, then you're able to do this. You know, so
Yeah.
you get 2K a month. Then you learn how to. Then you kind of reverse engineer it. So you steal their systems. Then you just implement it yourself, and then you hire it out. You know, and then from there, you're able to kind of like steal their systems. Oh my God, another one. Another question.
The amount of times I've wanted to outsource something, but I just don't have like the capital to do it is like so frustrating. Like I wish I could have someone just make thumbnails for me. Like I'll just like I hate it. But yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, like trying to find everything to outsource. And like I've been at that point where like you're sending the 150 Instagram DMs, you're cold calling people. Like I've actually gotten like decent at cold calling just because the amount of cold calls I've done, right? And like I understand it,
Good
right?
skill.
Yeah, it is a good skill to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely like it's interesting, you know, the different ways that you're looking at it, right? The different perspectives that you can have on it. So I guess going back to sort of like, you know, motivation and kind of like we were talking about with the college and dropping out everything, how do you think your family has kind of motivated you? I know you mentioned it in your videos. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, being Asian, you know, like that's the vibe, you know, you gotta, my parents really wanted me to be a doctor. I'm like, fuck that. And then, they at least wanted me to go to college. I said, fuck that to that. I told them I'm taking a gap year. They still think I'm taking a gap year. They think I'm coming back in 1 year. Why the hell would I go back if I make more than doctor already? And so like, it doesn't matter, you know, to go back. But I'll say motivation wise, this sort of thing drives you initially, right? Like the main goal for me is like fundamentally, I was like, I do not want to go to college. You know, I don't want to go. I want to escape the matrix and whatnot, right? And so I kind of have now. And I would say like for the past, I would say like there's a 2 week or 1 week period-ish where I was like contemplating, like, I reached my life goal from 0 to 17 years old. I've achieved what I've wanted to achieve, you know, and
Which
that
is
to leave college to make money on my own, you know, and that really like sets you down a hole, you know, because you're like, I've now grinded to 11K a month. Now what?
keep
I'm making
going.
enough to live where I want to. I want to do whatever. Like, is the video game over? Do I just go and kill myself? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of over, right? So then I would say I kind of lost a bit of motivation to that. And but from losing that motivation, it allows you to send yourself through through like a weed trip. Not playing. I didn't do no drugs or nothing, but it sends you down to like a place where you're like, all right, let me question now why I'm working. You know, let me see what motivates me more. And so I looked at the top entrepreneurs and saw the motivations that they have. Okay, so Alex works because if he used to, okay, basically like he had a whole journey and now he works because what was the core motivation? Because he said that it's not meaning. So he said it's not for happiness. It's not to be meaningful. Oh, it's because at the core level, work provides him joy, and doing that, it's a life mission to give back everything. You know, Layla Homozy, and this is where like the philosophy that I start taking on, right? So there's another way to do it where it's like I want to build a legacy. You know, Logan Paul, KSI, always like legacy, legacy, legacy. I want to leave something to the world. I want to become something. And I think the most favorite one that I've taken on is at the core of this, I began not only because like I thought about it, I was like, was this the only motivation? Working so that I could leave college and not live this classic Asian life. And I would say, no, it wasn't. That wasn't the only motivation. The other motivation was like, I enjoy improving myself. I enjoy changing my character. For instance, I like used to be fat as shit, bro. I was like 250 something pounds, like 113
Really?
kilograms. Yeah, like crazy shit, bro. Not story for another day. But that shift in my identity, changing my body and who I am, gave me joy. That allowed me to see myself in a different light and constantly improve. That's why we begin self-development, you know, a lot, all of us, you know, watching this. And now it's just self-development at a higher level, at a level like transcendent beyond what is, you know, classically on YouTube. And that transcendence lies in the fact of, okay, now I'm self-improving, but in what way? In my mind, in what I believe in my identity, in my skills, you know? And so every single time you move the ladder of your income, you go to 100K, you go to 1 million a year, you go to 50 million, right? I see these people and I see the difference in their character. I see the beliefs that they have, the identities that they have, and the skills that they have, and they're different. And so in order to get to the next level, you have to become a different person. You have to change your identity. And so for me, I would say what motivates me now is like being excited to see the next version of myself. What will I be at 50 million a year? What will I be like at 1 billion a year? You know, what will my character be like? Who will I be like? I'd like to meet that person. And so in order to become a millionaire, it's not the skills or anything like that. It's the person you become. It's the character you shift into in order to be able to make that. And that's the pursuit that I'm on now, the pursuit of a new identity.
That's a clip. No, that's really cool. No, like when you were talking about that, all I'm thinking about is like, you know, when you're in a car, right? And I might butcher this story a little bit, but or the anecdote, basically, when you're in a car, right, and you're going at a speed, right, the thing that you notice is the acceleration, right? So that acceleration is what, you know, drives you, right? But when you hit that like plateau, that point where you're not accelerating anymore, it's kind of like you kind of start to think like the best part about it was the acceleration, right? It's kind of reminded me to what you're saying, like, you know, I feel like I'm already here. Like, where do I go from here, right? Like, I feel like I've gotten to this point, right? But yeah, it's cool that you have like some sort of motivation behind it, right? Some sort of like drive.
Yes, you need to, man. You need to.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. And so I guess I don't want to give away too much of your agency sauce. But
I'm happy to give it all. I don't care. I'll give everything.
I mean, well, still, I just want to talk a little bit more about like the agency because I feel like this is more a business podcast, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you're doing the content and you're trying to partner up with someone who's going to do the bottom end. And have you ever looked at doing anything that might be a little bit different than like just doing content for like creators or, I mean, you're working with creators, right? And
yeah. So my ICP or ideal customer profile are biz op coaches. And so those are like, I'll get you $50 million with Amazon FBA, you know, like I'm gonna let you
drop shipping.
Right, with drop shipping, you know. Those people make a fuck ton of money. And so that's why I'm targeting them. And I would say that's where I'm going to stay. I'm not gonna leave because if you keep trying to, so there's something called shiny object syndrome, right?
Yeah, I made a video about it in my channel.
Right, exactly. And it's a classic, you know, thing that all entrepreneurs go through. It's this overexcitement that you have. Fundamentally, as an entrepreneur, you're a very excited person. You are very passionate and you want to pursue a lot of different things. And that is the perfect breeding ground, you know, like when there's fucking bacteria growing, right? There's like hot, warm. That is a perfect breeding ground for the bacteria that is shiny object syndrome. And so shiny object syndrome, you jump around all these business models because you get super excited. You see, oh my gosh, this next exciting.
Yeah.
You know? And that's bullshit, bro. That's bullshit.
It is.
Because you go through, and Alex Hormozi talked about this, right? You go through what is called uninformed optimism because you get really excited, even though you don't know jack shit. You just see the positive side of it, you know, positive side of the business model. Then you go down and you realize how fucking hard it is. Then you see, oh my gosh, drop shipping. Oh my gosh, Amazon FBA. And you go into this and you get excited about it. And then you fall again, realizing how drop shipping is super difficult. Because you have to do the ads, you have to do the freaking, you have to sit there and do shit every day, you know? So that's also difficult. Then you keep going down and down and down until you can't do anything and you're broke and you're still in your 9 to 5, you know? Or, and so when I say this analogy, right, instead of cut out the or, when you say the, when I say this analogy, it's because that also applies to shiny, I'll say shiny niche shiny service, shiny ICP syndrome in
Mhm.
SMMA, where you start getting excited about other niches, other services you could provide, other, exciting, little thing that you could do in your agency. When in reality, that's shiny object syndrome again, or what I kind of like to call shiny action syndrome, because you get excited about this next action that you could take. Of like, you know what, BizOp coaches, like I outreached to 100 of them, but they didn't respond to me. And so, you know what, I'm gonna go to like chiropractors or some shit,
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I know what
you
you're
see
saying.
that people aren't doing it. I'd rather go to Facebook ads, and it's like you already have the skill you built up, bro. Like you're here and you're now falling here. And then the other end of the spectrum, right? Because you get informed pessimism, then you get informed optimism, where once you realize, go through this pit of hell and you realize how difficult it is, then you learn, you build your skills, you change your identity, you change your belief, and you go up here. You realize that now you're able to do it, even though it's hard because you have the skills now. And so changing niches, changing all these different things, that is a symptom of that. Your excitement, going and trying all these different things, when in reality, please, I beg you, stick to one thing and
Yeah.
stay at it, because that is how you'll see genuine success.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
yeah, no, I completely agree. Because like I fall into that trap, right? I still do. Well, I try not to anymore, right? Like it's
Yeah.
what I look out for, right? Because especially like as you said, like entrepreneurs, like we see something, we're like, you know what I mean? Like we want to try this, right? Um,
You're like coming to fucking get it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
no. But it's not just like I guess for me, right? Like one of my motivations would be like I want to get to a point, right, where like you're saying, where like I'm making enough money where I can do whatever I want, like try as many of those things as I want, like with like outsourcing, right? And I don't know what your opinion is on that, right? But like that's like a like core motivation for me. Like I want to just try. I want to get to a point where I could just do whatever like I need, like whatever I would like to. I don't know if that's something that. What do you
Got it,
think
got it,
about
got it.
that?
So what you're telling me is you want to, so whatever business you have, like let's say for instance you have
Mhm.
an agency, because I would assume a lot of people watching this are agency owners.
Yeah,
You get to your point where your agency is automated. Then
yeah.
you're saying try drop shipping.
I wouldn't do obviously not drop shipping, but I would try like some like I would invest in other things and I would like look into like because I have so many
You're like,
interests,
okay,
right?
give me a concrete example right now. So you're working in an agency right now. What do you want to try once you, because I think the goal of you working in that real estate agency is to go and switch over to run your own agency, right? You want to
Correct.
own that agency, you
Yeah.
want to automate it. And then what do you want to try? Tell me.
Well, it depends like what how much money I have to spend and what I have like what kind of capital am I like dealing with here, right? But
Hmm.
like I have so like countless interests. Okay, I'll name one for example. Like I've always had like this like I don't know, not always, but I've always been interested in like agriculture and like farming, right? Like I'm not even kidding. Like it's kind of odd, right? But I kind of do like agriculture and that sort of thing. So I literally just go into that like buy a farm and like automate that and then like go into the next thing. You're like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like
Oh, I see, I
that
see,
I
I see.
have that's like I want to maybe it sounds weird, but like I kind of want to build like an empire of like all this stuff that I want, right? And it sounds weird when I say it like that, right? But it's just a motivation that I have. Like I wanted like just try all these things because I have so many interests that it's like, you know what I mean? Like I'll
Okay,
give you
fair enough,
another
fair enough.
example. Like I play soccer, right?
Yeah. So
And
you're gonna own like
and
a you're
a
gonna own like a
soccer
soccer
club.
club.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
like that's
yeah,
like a
yeah. I
dream.
see.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough, fair enough.
I don't know if that's like the same for you or what do you like you have a take on that?
Yeah. I think about that a lot too. Because
Because you
I
want a
think
new
one of my
challenge. You want something.
yeah, it's a good contemplation. And I would assume a lot of people have this uh cancer in their mind. No, like I want to say it's cancer. I would say it's still something like I'm trying to figure out too, right? But to up to what I've thought about this, I would say for me personally, I'll just start off with a story,
Mhm.
right? Since I was 12, you know, during when I was starting my editing stuff, I also really love to cook, and that's probably part of why I got fat, because I'll cook these like old greasy ass looking shit, But when I cooked it and whatnot, it's like there's a joy to that. There's like a level of community and family, and a level of like, man, like this is sick. Like I get to cook and I get to, have tons of people enjoy it, and I love food, or at least that's what I used to think. And when I go about this, and I loved it, you know, I would say that has led up to now, where it kind of consistently that mindset of like loving food, having an identity tied to it, it I would say it's a pro and a con now, where I get to the pro is I know a lot about food, and I could cook for people. And so when it
It's
comes to
almost
that,
like
then
a
there's a
skill.
level of, right, it's a skill, right? There's a level of community to that. But then the other end of the spectrum is now that I identify myself to food, and I don't know if I'm going to remove it or not, but I know go on like tantrums of like I validate being like, hey, I love food. Now I'm gonna try this shit, even though it's not part of my diet, because that's my identity. Like fuck it, And it's like part of the identity also leads to the fact that I used to say a lot. It's like I want to own a restaurant, just like you, right? I
Mhm.
like you have these passions that you want to turn into business. I want to own a restaurant. I want to maybe run a food company, maybe run a another idea I have is like
Mhm.
a food company that helps creators create food products. I thought that would be sick
Yeah.
too, right? And it's like this is cool and all, but right now that identity is damaging the amount of velocity that I could pursue my current business at.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
And so what I found is that with all of these things, I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to this. It's like the question is this, right? It's like you have this thing at the core. Is this a business you want to pursue later on? Right? You have these interests. Do you want to businessify this? Now, there's like multiple perspectives on this. Alex Ramosi said he was talking to a billionaire, and the billionaire was like, and I know there's a lot of jumbo shit going on. It's going to come together to one point, right? So Alex Ramosi said how he was talking to a billionaire, and the billionaire was like, and Alex was like, no, I think the billionaire said, no, I think Alex wanted to do some sort of business related to some passion he had. I forgot what it was. Maybe it was like food or something also, right?
Yeah, whatever.
And right, and the billionaire was like, why would you want to make your passion your food, your business, your job? That sounds terrible. It sounds like you're going to kill yourself because you're just going to be stressed. With once again this business model curve, right, where you get excited about this idea, you realize how boring it is, and you're like you're in this industry that you love, and yet you are working as a company. Now it's work, and now it turns into work, and then I guess you get excited about it overall. But he said that business owner or that billionaire was like, I don't want to make my passions my business. I'd rather execute on the business model that I see fundamentally working, that makes me the most amount of money, that continues to increase my revenue, while
Mhm.
I keep these other passions to myself. Because once this is automated, these I want to you could make them a business, or Y, you could keep them a passion and just, cook for fun or golf for fun. And when it becomes fun, then it's your actual passion, you know? And so
Mhm.
with all these like points that I've made now, I kind of tie it back to this one thing where it's like the conclusion I've come to with these, two varying sides of like make your passion your business or make your passion and keep it at that. I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
don't know
no.
where I want to go.
I don't think
Um,
anybody knows because like I was gonna ask you this after like passion or money, right? And this debate is just ongoing, right? Because I don't know if you've read the book. I have it right here actually. This one right here, How to Win at Everything. What is it? How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big by Scott Adams. And he talks about that a lot in the book of, passion versus money, right? And he's like, look, I don't care about passion. Whatever makes me the most money is going to make me the most happy, right? And it's like, it's interesting.
no,
Well, I mean,
yeah, but
so
continue.
no, like that. It's simplified, right? His main reason that he was talking about he was a he would help with loans, and he said he would never loan to someone who's working on their passion because they're more likely to risk. They're more likely to put everything into that because they love it so much, and most likely not to pay back that loan. Just because they're risking more, they're more likely to fail, right? And it's interesting because this debate, everyone has a different answer, right? And I sort of lean towards, don't do something that's your passion, but don't be miserable. I feel like there has to be a middle ground,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
I find it hard to like I find it hard to like I know what you're saying, like don't make your passion your job, right? But at the same time, like I don't think I could maybe like when I do it, I won't feel this way, right? But I don't think I could ever like not love like being around soccer every day or like doing certain things I'd love to do. You know what I mean? I don't know if you feel the same way.
I would say when it gets to that point, I've realized this running my own business because technically I would say YouTube was passion or like is passion. I still don't know if it is or not, but when you're in it, you're like, you're not doing the YouTube stuff anymore. You're not around soccer anymore. What you're around is the business on top that runs the rest of this. And so it's mostly like managing people that does this fun stuff, or like this person, like for instance, video editing is, I guess, technically sometimes more fun, but what I know makes more money and what is going to change my character and like genuinely push me to the next level is working and managing that editor, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to that context, I'm like, is it fun anymore? Or is it like me trying to push myself to the next level? And sometimes that's not fun. Sometimes it is fun, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that gets into some deep philosophy.
Yeah,
which I don't know if it's
yeah, now
I don't know if the
I
viewers
don't-
will find too valuable, but yeah, it's a question, and it's an answer I'm still trying, still on the journey figuring out. So once I
No.
figure it out in 5-10 years, then I'll come back and tell you guys.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no, because there's just certain things, right? Like I'll give you a story a little bit about me, right? So I love soccer, right? My goal was to play D1 in college, right? Like I was on that path. Like I probably could have, right? And
Right.
2 months ago, I tore my ACL. So right now, like I have a torn ACL. I have surgery. Like I can like sort of walk now. Like today was the first day. I can like kind of walk and drive and do certain things like regular life again. But like for the past couple months, like I've been in a brace. Like I've been like struggling. And it basically like all my like soccer dreams like for like D1 in college is basically scratched off, right? Like I
Damn.
can't
That's
like really do
crazy.
that.
I'm sorry,
Just
man.
I mean, it's just unfortunate. Like I can't do anything about it now. And I'm not saying that for you to feel bad for me. I'm just saying like you never know like
That's
what's
some
gonna.
trauma right there. That's
I
why you're in
mean,
this business, huh? Because you're like, fuck, man, not gonna make money.
nah, I actually started my agency before this, but like now that like I
Okay.
tore it, like I've been going crazy. Like
Right.
it's been like I've been locked in on it.
Mm.
But no, my point is like you never know what's gonna happen like when you're gonna like lose something that like you love to do, right?
Mm.
So like I just like soccer, for example, right? Like I might not be able to play like D1, right? But hopefully like it's a 9-month recovery, by the way, like if you don't know. But yeah, so it's insane until I can play soccer again. But basically like my point is like you don't know when you're gonna lose something that you love to do, whether it's something with your physically or mentally, whatever it is, right? You don't know when you're gonna lose something. So just like feel like take advantage of that. And I kind of apply that to business, right? Like how am I gonna be able to stay around soccer when when I can't do it, right? Like that's like
Yeah.
business is the way. I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts when it comes to that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I feel like we've been going for a long time.
Yeah.
So, is there
Sorry, we're
anything
good.
else you want to add? Any closing statements to this edition of the Truth Talk podcast?
Uh, Not really. I would say just take action, guys, and stop thinking. Just do stuff. And
Yeah,
then
because apparently we've been thinking way too much.
yeah. And then I would say oh, and then I'm also posting weekly now, instead of, and so sorry guys if you, I don't know if anybody watching this that used to watch my shit, but I used to like IRL content and now I'm just doing sit down, like more educational stuff. So
Mhm.
you won't be seeing the vlogs no more. Bye bye.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But I'm doing more, but I'm more quantity now. But
mhm.
yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. So go check it out.
All right. So go check out Timothy Yoon on YouTube.
Yeah,
Um,
just Tim Yoon on
Tim
YouTube.
Yoon, sorry, Tim Yoon on YouTube. The link will hopefully be in the description for y'all to check out. If y'all like this, if y'all found some value in this, drop a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Subscribe.